Red Star players defended ABA League title by winning 3-0 against j.t.d in the final series. Red and Whites thus confirmed their domination in regional competition and for the third time in a row won the trophy and qualified for EuroLeague competition in next season. MVP of the final was Charles Jenkins. And at the end we have top 5 place of the final series. Welcome to the ABA magazine. Final series of ABA League playoff for this season started in a packed Alexander Nikolic Hall. Twice in last 3 years, it Red Star and j.t.d were battling for the trophy and for the place in EuroLeague next season. Both teams were severely weakened. Red Star was without Stefan Jovic, while in the opposing team Ryan Boatwright and Marko Arapovic were absent. And in first 2 game coach Veljko Mršić was missing, so team was led by Gianmarco Pozzecco. As it turns out, j.t.d was closest to win in the first game and were playing best in the first period of that game. Visitors from Zagreb started the game in an excellent way. They were dominating on both sides of the court. In offense they had a great shooting rate, mostly due to 2-on-2 plays which allowed Bilan to score 10 out of his 22 points, all in first period. Home team scored just once from the play in first 8 minutes, which champion of Croatia used to get 23-8 lead. Red and Whites started playing better in offense by Mirko Bjelica and with stronger defense, which resulted with 13 steals. Visiting team's lead started to melt. j.t.d's shooting percentage dropped rapidly, and when Charles Jenkins joined Bjelica, then Radonic's team got their first lead around the half of the second period. Visiting team consolidated after team from Belgrade got +8 lead, and last-minute run of 7-0 brought them back to the game. After that, we saw another run for the home team. j.t.d was on 3 points for a very long time, while their opponents scored 15 and got a double-digit lead for the first time. Thomas scored 3 points for 66-59, but Nate Waters didn't allow for a tense finish of the game, which made home crowd very happy since Red Star started the series with emphatic win, 81-66. Hero of the game was Charles Jenkins with 20 points, 70% shooting rate and 5 assists. Walters with 14 points had 1 more assist than Jenkins, while Kuzmic also scored 14 points. Bjelica scored 13, while Guduric scored 10. Thomas with 14 led j.t.d, while Bilan and James scored 12 each. Less than 24 hours after the end of the first game, these 2 teams played the second game in Alexander Nikolic Hall. Even though point difference was the smallest, this game brought most efficient game by Red Star, and their opponents weren't allowed to get close in any point of the game. In j.t.d team took a risk after demand of the player himself, so we saw their best shooter Ryan Boatwright in play. American tried to help his team, he scored 10 points, but unfortunately his injury was still fresh. At the end of the third period, Boatwright renewed his injury, which ended the series for this great player. But even his presence didn't help visitors, since their opponent was in great shooting form. Red Star kept increasing their lead, mostly via shots made from beyond 6.75 line. Visitors tried to risk it, but were left clueless in defense since Mitrovic and Dangubic scored most of their attempts. Team from Belgrade scored 9 out of total of 10 3-pointers in the first 2 periods. Especially impressive was Marko Guduric, who scored 2 buzzer beaters. Home team scored 57 points in the first half and allowed only 34, which was their biggest lead of the game. At that moment it was clear who is gonna be the winner of this game. After futile attempts to reduce deficit in their period, visiting team managed to decrease deficit in the last period for final score 84-73. EuroLeague participants used their home team advantage to the fullest, doubled the lead and got within a step of defending a title. We saw another great game by Charles Jenkins. He was once again MVP of the game, this time with 16 points, 7 rebounds and 4 assists. Nate Waters scored 2 points less and Dangubic with 12 and Mitrovic and Guduric with 10 were also in double digits. Best scorer for CDVita was captain of the team Bilan, who had a lot of problems with 2-point attempts, while Rashad James scored 1 point less. Finals moved to Zagreb's Hall of Sports, where Red Star used their first match point and won third title of regional champion in a row. We saw return of Veljko Mršić on the bench of CDVita, so everyone in their team was ready to give their best in order to prolong this series. They didn't open this game very well. Visitors made use of opponent's problem with 2-point attempts, so they opened this game with 8-0 run. Winners of this year's Krešimir Ćosić Cup tried to play aggressive defense, while in the offense they were kept alive with 3-point shots. And those shots brought home team lead midway through second period, when the score was 33-30. At that time CDVita had 6 from 9 for 3 points. But unfortunately for the home team, that was the moment when their 0 from 11 run for the 3-point attempts started. And to make things worse, Red Star got back in the game. After 6 steals in a row, they make a 13-0, took back the lead and kept it until the end of the game. This game showed depth of the team from Belgrade this season. In the center of the attention of the series and on his way to an MVP of the game was Dion Thompson. With 14 points, he was the best scorer in both teams. Besides him, Walters with 11 and Simonovic with 13 were only players with a double-digit scoring. Simonovic's 3-point shots crushed every hope that home team can make a comeback, especially since injuries kept piling on for Veljko Mršić's team. At the end of the second period, Rashad James got injured, which broke CDVita's morale, for which only Toni Katic scored 10 points. Dejan Radonjic's team finished the game in a relaxed manner, and when at 77-61 we heard the last buzzer, it was a signal for a big celebration. Series was won 3-0, and they won a Champions ring third time in a row in a season filled with records. First, they repeated the record for most wins in a championship, which is 20. After that, Red Star became first team to end the season with 1 loss and 25 wins in a regular part of the season. And after games against CDVita and Budućnost, that brings the record to 30 wins and 2 losses. And most important, club from Belgrade will play in Euroleague next season. At the very start of the season, we said that this is a crucial thing for this season, as it was for previous seasons too. Since by winning ABA League we are qualified for Euroleague. And from many aspects, it means that this was without the doubt priority for us. Series was in a very hard tempo for us and CDVita, and 2 days before the start we played against Darušafaka. And 2 days before that we played in semi-finals against Budućnost and so on. So it was necessary to prepare for the finals, where we started good, defended our home court for 2-0. We played well through the entire year in ABA League, despite difficulties, which brings participation in Euroleague, which could brought some unexpected results.
Iako, naravno, učešće u Euroligi nosi jednu dozu mogućnosti da se sva ta opterećenja prenesu na utakmice ABA lige i da dođe do nekih rezultata koje možda nisu očekivani, ali smo bili...
But we were good in regular season and got the home court advantage and the chance to defend the title.
Prvo mjesto i mogućnost da branimo i da imamo naš teren.
We have 12 players that can win the game in any second, especially in ABA League, which we shown numerous times this season. And tonight he gave us extra energy and additional impulse. Once he entered the play around half of the second period, we managed to make a bigger lead and to take over a full control over the game. Award for the most valuable player of ABA League goes to Charles Jenkins. Returning to Red Star played best when it was most needed. Red Star's American player was MVP of his team in 3 most important games of the season. First, in a decisive game against Budućnost, he had index of 24, while he also had a similar numbers in first 2 games of the final season against j.t.d. When you add all that up, Jenkins averaged 12.3 points, 5.3 assists, 3 rebounds and 1.5 steals per game. On number 5 we have an attractive slam dunk by Red Stars center Ognjen Kuzmić, but that isn't all from former NBA player. American playing for j.t.d. John Shurna got 4th place with 3-pointer with foul. On place number 3 we have long distance attempt by Marko Gudurić, buzzer beater from 10 meters away. Super talented Janan Musa stormed through Red Star's paint and scored with left hand slam dunk. And the best play of the entire series was done by Ognjen Kuzmić. Great dribble and another strong slam dunk. You have been watching the last edition of ABBA magazine for this season. See you again at the start of the next season.